Good morning, boys and girls. All right, we're on to chapter 22 in Swindle, where we last left off. Darren is in a room and he was looking for the safe and he thinks he found it. All at once, Darren's voice called, "I've got it. It's here." So that's where we left off. They're about to get the card. Let's see what happens. Chapter 22. The searchers converged on the master bedroom. Darren was on his hands and knees, aiming his flashlight under the nightstand. There, half hidden and bolted to the floor, stood the safe Griffin had first seen behind the counter at Palomino's Emporium of collectibles and memorabilia. The safe that held the $1 million prize. Griffin pulled the blowtorch off his back and produced safety goggles and a flint lighter from his pocket. "Give me some space, you guys," he said. Turn on the gas and spark the flint to ignite the flame. Meanwhile, Melissa had been staring at the front entrance for at least 20 minutes. The more she thought about it, the more obvious the solution seemed. Completely simple, but extremely delicate. There were two magnetic sensors, one on the door frame and one on the door itself. When the door opened, the two pieces separated, lost contact, and that triggered the alarm. So all I have to do is take off the door sensor and tape it to the other unit. The problem was if she made one little mistake, if her hand slipped, if she dropped a component, she would get them all arrested. Melissa knew she was a whiz with electronics. At home, she had built her own computer from a kit. She could do this with her eyes closed and one hand tied behind her back. But the stakes had never been this high. With so many other people involved, she was such a loner. Being part of a team was a whole new experience for her. Maybe she should ask the others, talk to Griffin. She thought back to the green paper that had invited her to the first meeting in the supply room. "You have been chosen for your special skills." This was her skill. She was going to do this to prove to herself as much as anybody else that she belonged on this team. She ran to the kitchen and began rummaging until she found the utility drawer. There, near the top, there were two items she'd been seeking: a small Phillips head screwdriver and a roll of masking tape. Back at the door, she propped up her flashlight on a hall table to illuminate her work area. Then she ran a circle of tape loosely around the two components. With the touch of a surgeon, good thing her gloves were tight and well fitted, she removed the two screws holding the smaller contact to the door. Now it was free, held in place only by the masking tape. She was scared beyond belief, but her hands were rock steady. With agonizing care, she moved the unattached component until it was touching its partner on the doorframe. Another application of tape held the pair tightly together. There was just enough space for the door to open and close. So far, so good. All that remained was to test it. She unlocked the deadbolt, turned the knob, and ran the door about 6 inches, and opened the door about 6 inches. Lest a cool air assailed her, powered by the windy night. No alarm sound. The thrill of her triumph was so overwhelming that she could scarcely keep from shouting. If she had shouted, she might have awakened Ben, who was a mere 6 feet away, curled up asleep at his post in the bushes, like he was in a feather bed. I wonder if that's going to come back to haunt him falling asleep there. We'll see. Meanwhile, Luther, what's wrong? Savannah asked the Doberman for the upteenth time. Why are you acting so strange? The dog whisperer had been trying to calm Luther's nervous restlessness. It couldn't be done. Savannah prided herself on being able to read an animal's thoughts from its body language, but all she could get from Luther was agitation. Even more upsetting, she couldn't shake the feeling that the creature was trying to tell her something important. Whining and twitching, Luther again grabbed her by the sleeve and began dragging her toward the staircase. Okay, I'm coming. Don't pull so hard. It was an effort to keep her feet as she was towed down the steps and across the checkered tile to the main hall. Scrambling to keep up, she realized that the dog had a very specific destination in mind. a makeshift office near the front of the house. The closer they got to the door, the jumpier Luther became. Intrigued, Savannah played her flashlight over the room. She almost missed it. Stretched out, asleep on a small rug, was the largest German shepherd she had ever seen. Even as she watched the huge dog stir and raised its massive head into the beam, its eyes fixed it on her, glowing. Savannah Drysdale had never been so afraid of an animal in her life, yet the savagery she saw in the shepherd's eyes, coupled with the whimper of fear from the Doberman at her side, triggered a split-second decision. She slammed the door shut. The impact of a heavy body against the other side convinced her that she had done the right thing. She took hold of Luther's collar and raced back up the stairs. Full-throated barking resounded throughout the house. She arrived panting in the master bedroom where Griffin was partway through burning a large hole into the side of the safe. A critic smoke hung in the air, and the metal glowed bright orange along the track made by the blowtorch. So think of like a little hole in there. Okay? Pitch sat on the bed, resting her injured leg. What's all that barking? What's the matter with Luther? Her bewildered gaze fell on the Doberman, standing docile at Savannah's side. Oh, there's another dog, blurted Savannah. I think it might be a trained attack dog. Griffin looked up in alarm. Is it loose? He's trapped in a room downstairs, Savannah quavered. At least I think it's a he. I can't imagine a female that size. I'm afraid he'll find a way to break through that door. Can't you whisper him down? Darren demanded. That's supposed to be your job. This isn't the time to try, Savannah insisted. There are too many people around, intruders in a house he's trained to protect. Plus, he could set off Luther. The poor baby's terrified by this monster. With sinking hearts, the heist team realized that the dog whisperer was right. Savannah's words were punctuated by an enraged barking and violent slams against a wooden door. Nobody panic, Griffin ordered. Another few minutes and I'll be into the safe. We'll have our card and Melissa has found us a way out. The plan is still on track. Luther's uneasy whimpers indicated that he did not think so. All right, that was chapter 22. And chapter 23 tomorrow. We'll see what happens next. All right, have a great day.